everybody, and welcome to the Feeling Lighter podcast. I'm Coach Tyler, and Dr. Lisa wasn't ready to drop in, but I'm not going to stop. So welcome to the show, Dr. Lisa.
This is
how are you?
how I'm starting this show. Fine.
Well, this show, it may be the amnesia that you're going through or something like that, right? Because this show is about aging today. I'm making a joke, okay? I'm just making a joke. But seriously, we're going to talk about aging and compassion today, because one of the things that we get to witness a lot is people talking about their inner dialogues. Okay, I know we just went from silly and ridiculous to deep real fast, but that's what we like to do here at WeShape.
Yeah, and I'm not ready.
When people when people share their inner dialogues, one of the most common things that I see, especially in women over 50, over 60, is this belief that they shouldn't age, essentially. Mm-hmm. Underneath it is this belief that they shouldn't age, that, oh, I should be like I was when I was 30 or 40 or 20 forever. And that belief causes so much harm. Mm-hmm. It makes people feel bad about themselves. It creates these unrealistic expectations of women. And then what happens is y'all walk around the world saying, I should be this and I should be that, or I need to do more so I can get back to where I was before. And while we're all about practicing movement and trying to have as much longevity as possible, there's an inevitable truth for all of us that we're all going to get older. We're all going to lose strength and flexibility. We're all going to die. And along that way, if our value is tied to our looks, if our value is tied to our capabilities, then eventually we're going to lose that self-worth too. Mm-hmm. And so this conversation is about maintaining that self-worth, that kindness, that compassion towards yourself and others as you age. Are you dropped in now? Are we back?
I think I'm here.
She's like, I wanted to start the episode over.
Yeah, he just doesn't listen to me, so let's just put that out there. But
that's
anyway.
Okay. That's a symptom of me.
And then speaking of age, I am older than him. So I'm the elder at this table, and you didn't listen to me. So
yes,
I'm just going to hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever. Anywho,
yes. Back to it.
I mean, this is a symptom of the world we live in, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's the patriarchy. It's these unrealistic beauty standards.
You should look like this.
You should look like this. And then when you cease to when you cease to look this way, when you're not desirable in a mainstream kind of societally acceptable way, then you are less important and you're less valuable. And what I see on the other side of that, and I think this happens for men and women, to be very honest, is this desire to now hide. Because I'm not beautiful anymore. I'm not anything to look at. I've put on weight. My hair is gray. I'm wrinkly. I can't do the things I used to do. I don't go out and people think I'm attractive. So I might as well just stay hidden. I might as well just stay in the house. I might as well just shift the focus of my life to caring for the people around me. So for me, this is where I see that self-abandonment kick into third gear, because now, in addition to not being beautiful or seen as something to be held or be worthy of, I have other responsibilities, and I can just pour myself into that. So I will just be the best mom, the best grandma. I'll be the lady that does everything at the church, the deaconess. I'll do all the things, and I'll just really neglect myself because who am I? I'm not important anymore.
Yeah, I'm not worthy.
Yeah, I'm not worthy anymore. My best years are behind me. And that is where we really get stuck. And I watched this happen in a small way, or maybe a smaller scale way, with my grandmother. Now, she continued to look good because grandma, she was all about fashion. But outside of that, she didn't really curate a life of enjoyment for herself. She threw herself into the needs of other people, into the needs of her church and community, and definitely self-sacrificed a lot and kind of mimicked how she did in her younger years when she was married with smaller children and then raising her grandchildren. So I definitely do not aspire to that for my life as I age, but I understand exactly why it happens. I see it all the time. And I think it's conversations we've had with members, conversations we've had with, other people who are older, and some of the things we've probably experienced on a smaller scale as we've gotten older, where it's you start to question. I think there is for women who are used to a lot of their worth and value, to no fault of their own, but a lot of their worth and value being put into what they look like. it is something shocking to the nervous system. I think the first time you go somewhere and maybe no one is noticing you. And I've heard older women talk about this, and even women in my age group in their 40s and 50s, when you start to see like, oh wait, I'm not turning heads like I used to. I'm not maybe the stereotypical beauty or as beautiful as I once was, or whatever the case is, however you define it. There can be something a little gut-wrenching the first time you notice that or see you're not that interesting to other people. But that's why we talk so much about self-worth on here, not leaning into what you look like, because your looks are going to change. Your body weight's going to change. You know, everything about you will change if you live long enough. What you can do will change. But if you have a deep sense of knowing that you are valuable and worthy, that doesn't have to change.
Yeah. You highlight something really beautiful there that I think is important for people to really feel, which is like the folly, like the erroneous nature of tying our value to something that is fleeting. Like no matter what, we're all going to grow older. We're all going to lose capabilities. We're all going to, look differently as we age. And if we tie our sense of worth to any of that, it's just a ticking time bomb.
It is.
At some point, something's going to happen, and we're going to have to do the inner work or die trying, right? And I got to be honest, one of the ways that I was really grateful having learned this is, people have heard my story a lot about different knee surgeries and stuff like that. But on my right knee, I heard it, I was like 15 years ago or something now. And then I had a knee surgery, and it didn't work out. My knee was too tight in there, and then they had to go in and do another surgery, and then it kind of fixed the tightness, but then it was really unstable. And then they had to do another knee surgery, and they're like, well, all the stuff we fixed is already broken again. And then I was just like, I'm doing life and having kids and stuff, and I didn't think about it for like almost a decade. And then I remember one day I was jumping on a trampoline, and I was like, oh, I can't do this because my knee kept dislocating, and it just lost so much integrity over the years. It was like bone on bone, no ligaments in there to keep it together. I was like, I got to do something about this. So I went and got another knee surgery. And I'll never forget, after that knee surgery, I was in bed again, right? Like I might have spent months. I've spent like a year of my life in bed recovering from knee surgeries so far. And I started trying to get back to working out. And, before you go to a surgery, everybody does this. You're super ambitious, right? You're like, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to recover faster than anybody's ever seen. All this. We all think like that, And then you start trying to do it, and you're like, oh, I feel horrible. Oh, I'm exhausted, and I need some more rest. And I remember sitting in bed when I had that realization that no matter what, I'm going to lose the ability to move my body as I age. And right now I'm putting way too much value on what I can do with my body, right? If my value, my internal self-worth is tied to the fact that I can do this and I can do that and I can do this, look at me, right? That's all external validation that I need to feel happy. And I asked myself the question when I was recovering that time around, could I be happy if I could never get out of this bed for the rest of my life? Could I be happy if I could never walk again for the rest of my life? And I really did a lot of work on myself in that space because I wanted to cultivate enough intrinsic self-worth to not tie it to what I could do or how I could move my body, but to know that as that slipped away, I've already got this part covered, right? I've already got the part covered that says I am enough, just as I am as a soul.
As a soul.
As a soul. Not as a
Minus
body.
the meat suit.
Minus the meat suit. You're the one who said meat suit. I can't believe you just said meat suit. That's hilarious.
Well, I heard that from someone years ago, and it just makes sense because, as you say a lot, we're not human doings, we're human beings, right? And the essence of being is not in our bodies necessarily. This is just the suit that we get to experience this earth in. That's really it. Outside, it's like putting on a spacesuit to go to space, right? It's just the outer shell or core. Who we are is deep within. It is our soul, our spirit, our mind, our heart, and it's something that we neglect to nurture when we get a little bit too caught up in the superficiality of our world. And it's not something that I point the finger and blame anybody about because it's systems. It's the systems were it's the human condition and systems that were created this way. It's capitalism. It's like when we talk about diet culture. It's like this idea: work hard, do the things, look good, make money, earn the things. You'll feel great. You'll have the best life. And as we've discovered time and time again, what we see on the outside, that perfect, picture of wealth and happiness and beauty, is never, almost never, probably never, like the manifestation of like deep self-love and deep self-worth and true connection. And it's just not, that's not the package it comes in most of the time. And we spend a lot of time hyper focusing on what it's supposed to look like as opposed to what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
And I think aging is just one of those examples. And I can speak just as an American, we don't put a whole lot of value on older adults here. We don't
we're going to talk about that for sure.
We don't put a lot of value on the wisdom of aging and the gems and the knowledge and the beauty that we can derive from our elders and people as we get older. We do start to sort of push people to the side and make them feel less valuable in who they are and in how they look. And, it's ugly. I don't like that we do that. And, that's something that I hope we can shift our culture on a little bit as I get older and maybe as my children get older and, their children. It's a waste in some ways.
It's a huge waste, and I'm happy you said. I want to touch on that. But right before I get there, though, I want to say something about what you said about the Spirit, because the Spirit knows it's worthy just as it is. The Spirit is already connected, right, to all things, and it's the body and the mind that bring us away from that. And I know that might sound fluffy and all these different things you might think of, but at the end of the day, if we can get more towards appreciating that part of ourselves, our spirit, not our body, not our mind, not our accomplishments, not our bank accounts, not our stuff, and just really appreciate the Spirit, I think that's what will help us all be a whole lot happier from now until the day we take our last breath.
Absolutely.
Because that Spirit already knows it's worthy. He's got to let go of all the things that tell it it's not, right? And going to the societal piece of this is sad to me. The lack of value placed on wisdom. And you can really see this because if you look at all traditional cultures, who are the most valuable people in that culture?
Older people.
The older people,
yeah.
right? The wise woman, right? The wise man, the people who would share history, who would share the mistakes they've made, who have lived long, who have learned and can pass that down to future generations. And I don't know when it was, but it seems like somewhere in the last 100 to 200 years, at least in the United States, we stopped valuing that.
Yeah, we did.
stopped saying, hey, you're older now, and your value, how you value yourself might have changed. And we're going to show up and say, wow, this person has tons of experience, And what's crazy is, this is a little bit off topic from the fitness world, but there's a guy named Ray Dalio who managed one of the biggest hedge funds in the world. And he wrote a book called Changing of the World Order. And coincidentally, these giant world order changes and wars tend to happen as the last people who experienced the war begin to die off. So it's every 80 to 100, 110 years, something like that, right?
Okay.
Because now there's no one around to say, this is horrible.
Right.
Don't let this happen. This is never worth it. And everybody goes, I'm mad at you, you're mad at me, we have different beliefs, and so we're going to go to war over it. And then something really bad happens for a while, and then everybody calms down for another full generation, not a generation, I guess a whole lifespan, right? And that's really sad to me. That's really evident of the fact that we're not taking that wisdom and carrying it forward. We're just forgetting it, and we're prioritizing, the internet and encyclopedias and blah, 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 rather than somebody who might have lived through an experience that would give us more wisdom in that place. So, I really wish we valued wisdom a lot more and valued these stupid things like looks and success a whole lot less, because most of that stuff is not doing anything for us as a human race.
No.
So
it doesn't do anything besides, keep us insecure. That's all it does.
Oh, you nailed that right there. Like if we're in pursuit of external validation, we're in pursuit of validating our insecurity.
Absolutely.
If we're in pursuit of external validation, anything outside of ourselves, accomplishments, looks, performance, money, whatever, we're just satisfying that little child within that says, I am not enough.
I am not enough. So maybe I can be pretty enough.
So maybe I can be pretty enough.
I am not enough.
Maybe I can be rich enough.
So maybe I can be rich enough.
Have the hot wife or husband or best job or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And let's do that work now. Let's do the real work now. the work that says, you're fine just as you are.
Exactly.
And sometimes you got to just put reality in front of people for them to notice this, right? So going back to what we were talking about before, which was, no matter what, this is an inevitable reality for all of us, right? If you're a woman and you feel like you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I'm old, look at all these wrinkles and blah, blah, like I'm losing my value in this world, right? Which is, by the way, we had our We Shape Wellness weekend. This is something that I heard several attendees there say when they were sharing their inner critic dialogues was, you're old, you're ugly. And when we do this, we flip the dialogue around. And one of them came to me and said, how do I rewrite this? Like, she was really struggling to rewrite this, because it's not like she wanted to rewrite, you're old, you're beautiful, because that didn't feel like true for her, right? Even though I believe that's true, but that didn't feel true for her. So I was like, okay, well, what do you actually believe? And we're like, do you believe that everybody ages? Okay, great. Everybody ages. Do you believe that everybody's valuable regardless of how they look? Okay, great. So everybody ages and everybody's valuable. Yeah. Right? And if we can say that kind of stuff to ourselves, we don't have to make up this whole story like, look at you, you're beautiful. And on the inside, you're like, that's not true. That's not going to help you get through that. It's not cultivating self-worth. Yeah. Right? Self-worth is, I am getting older. Yeah. I am changing the way I look, and I'm still valuable. Right? Absolutely.
I want to say something about this concept of being beautiful. Yeah, we put a lot of weight on it in our world, in our country. And it reminds me of how we operate in diet culture, with body image stuff, where it's like, this season, this type of body is popular. Go chase that. Next season, this type of body is popular. Go chase that. Beauty is the same way, because it's very subjective.
It's super subjective.
It's so subjective. It's based on the trends and the person, individuals. Like, I can see someone and find them extremely beautiful or attractive, and my sister can see the same person and be like, oh no, they don't do it for me at all. So it's extremely subjective. So the idea of chasing something that is different to every person is just silly, right? And even if you're going to internalize it and say, I want to be beautiful to myself, right? Your beauty is subjective to you. And the reality is, you may not look the way you think you're supposed to look. But what is, to me, the worst part about chasing this, or even letting this be the desire, the thing that we focus on and ruminate on, is that it steals our attention from things that actually matter. And it's just like in diet culture. If I'm focused on how small my body gets, how many calories I'm taking in, how many calories I'm burning, what I'm eating tomorrow, I can't focus on the actual things in the world that probably need my attention. Yeah. And it's the same thing with this superficial sense of beauty. I'm going to spend my energy and time buying products, doing things, watching tutorials, trying to make myself look different, trying to reverse the aging process. I hate the term anti-aging, because it's such a lie. There's nothing that's going to stop you from aging other than getting inside a time machine. Like, it's a fallacy, and we just it's on all of the night creams and skin products in the store, but there's no way to anti-age unless you die. Like, that's it. You stop aging by dying, as opposed to this idea like, I'm just going to chase beauty and figure out the way to make myself more attractive and more beautiful to whom, because it's subjective, and why. What are you actually accomplishing? Who are you becoming? And I know this is sounding a little preachy and judgy, but I'm saying this to myself because I've been here before. I've been here before, and I understand the desire to feel beautiful and to feel desired and attractive and wanted by people. That is a normal human experience. Everyone will have that. But the issue, the dysfunction comes in when we are chasing that thing and we are letting it define us and how we treat ourselves and how we show up in the world. So, let go of this concept of beauty. Like, beauty standards are so fucked up anyway. Like, they're so stupid and subjective and constantly changing, and they do nothing for the world. Me being more or less beautiful helps no one in this world, not even me. I mean, there's some privilege that can come along with being, more societally attractive, but it doesn't help me in any tangible way, and it doesn't help me help other people in any tangible way.
Yeah.
So letting go of this desire and allowing the aging process to happen. And I don't say that to judge people who are doing things to limit wrinkles or to feel younger. Like, that's your choice. Body autonomy over all of my opinions. But I think there is something truly admirable and beautiful and satisfying when I see and watch people allowing the aging process to just happen.
Yeah.
Just happen.
And you know what? I agree with that so much. I think a lot of women, when I speak to them, are trying to fit a mold to be able to express their beauty. And I try to tell women a lot. This is something I think a lot of women don't understand. There is nothing sexier than authentic confidence. There is nothing sexier than authentic confidence. It really doesn't matter what you look like or what your body's shaped like. That authentic confidence is like tantalizing. It's so attractive because we want to be around people who like themselves.
We do.
Because we all struggle to do that. And I think that people need to just look at themselves in the mirror and go, look at you now. Like, you're doing your best. You're doing a great job. And maybe it's like, yeah, I'm doing it, right? Even all the way into that old age and even all the way into those later years. Like, if we can just be really proud of who we are, if we can authentically be confident in our own skin, regardless of how we look, it's going to emanate our life in a more positive way than if we're not confident and we're doing all of that stuff to try and fit some sort of mold or image that we were told we needed to fit into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big.
And it's all fake. It's all fake. It's all made up.
Yeah. Well, you said something I want to go back to, which is highlighting this fake and made up. I want everybody to take your lower self hat and put it on right now. And let's be like judgmental and critical and whatnot. So what's funny to me is that you said all the bodies change. Like, every decade, there's a new, like, it body, the new body that you got to fit into or whatever. What's hilarious to me is the other part of it, which is the it body from the past becomes no longer something that's attractive. So you got, like, for example, you got like the 90s, like, skinny, like, Friends, Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox look, right? Oh, wow, that's so great. And then now we're like 20 years later, and now it's like more curvy and stuff like that. And you hear people say the opposite. They're like, oh, look at that, too skinny, right? Like, what? Like, we're just changing the tune every, like, decade based on fashion trends and marketing trends. And,
it's a moving target.
It's a moving target. And it's all made up. Like you said, it's all made up. And I got to be honest with you, it's made up by the people who are selling you products.
Yes.
Right? It's made up by the people who are selling you products. And so instead of falling prey to the marketing that says, you are not enough unless you get rid of your wrinkles, and you can get rid of your wrinkles with my product, right? Why don't we say, I show up and take care of myself. Yeah, take care of your skin. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Take care of your soul. Show up and take care of yourself. That's important, right? But do it from a place of feeling like you're worth it, and do it from a place of authenticity and internal self-confidence.
Internal self-confidence. Do not do it to get external validation.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about this all the time. External validation is cool. It can help
and it's tasty.
validate
Doesn't it
you
taste
and
good?
make you feel a way that, you maybe hadn't in the past. And it does feel good. It can kind of reignite you and motivate you and inspire you. But if that is what you're seeking, you're going about it all wrong.
Yeah.
It needs to be something internally motivated. If I'm doing all this work so that other people see me and say nice things about me, what do I think about myself? I have this conversation. I need
you to tell me that I'm beautiful because I don't think I'm beautiful.
Because I don't think I'm beautiful. That's really what it is.
And this is a Band-Aid. I just want to say this is a Band-Aid because they're putting that Band-Aid on. It lasts how long? An hour, maybe a week, maybe have that memory in there every once in a while. And then what happens? Back to the old belief.
Right, back to the old belief. Because if you don't believe it, it doesn't really matter what other people say.
Yeah.
And you can have genuinely wonderful people around you saying, you are gorgeous, you are beautiful, you are smart. But until you actually believe it, doesn't matter. It never matters. So I have this conversation with my children, specifically my daughters, and this is so funny because this was literally like a last week conversation. My oldest is 14, and my middle daughter is 12. And I remember when my oldest was about 11 or 12, she kept trying to wear mascara. And I was very much against it. And parenting, just to be clear for anybody who's not a parent, it's just constantly unlearning, relearning, changing, shifting, thinking you know what you're going to do and say, and then realizing that's not what you're going to do or say over and over and over again. There's nothing more humbling than being a parent.
Yeah,
So
true.
I had these ideas about makeup, and I'm like, no, I don't want you to do that. I think it's too adult. And we went back and forth. I mean, she would sneak it. She would put on her friends, which was a whole problem. Like, don't share mascara. That's disgusting. And I think I finally gave in when she turned 12. And I let her wear mascara. And then my middle child, she started doing the same things, but earlier. So she ended up getting allowed to wear it at 11. And sometimes I just cave. I just give in because I'm like, whatever. But I have these conversations with them around makeup because I'm like, okay, I want to be very clear. It starts there. It starts with, I want to wear mascara. I want to make my lashes look long and full and dark and beautiful. And the contrast, they both have light eyes. So the contrast with my eyes is so pretty. I get it. I was like, but what happens? Now we're late to school because you have to put on your mascara for 8 minutes. I've timed them. It's ridiculous.
My daughter does the same. She did it this morning.
Out of control.
I was like, I turned off the light mirror that she has. I was like, we're leaving now.
Time to go.
You get to wake up earlier if you want to do this.
It's sick. And then what comes after that is, if there's a day where I don't get my mascara on, I don't like my face. So these are the uncomfortable conversations. It's so funny because I'm having these conversations with them and confronting things within myself. And I'm like, this is a part of the reason I try to put off you doing any form of makeup, because I understand as a woman that when you lean on something and it becomes a part of like what you need or you think you need to feel beautiful, the flip side of that is that when you don't have this thing, you don't feel beautiful. And so we're going back and forth in my house about it right now, because this is the question, like, do you need to wear mascara? Do you need to wear any makeup ever? And I have on a face full right now, so I'm not against makeup by any means, but it makes me question myself and question them. Where is your confidence and belief in yourself without adding this thing?
Yeah.
Why is this thing so important? And why will we let it impact us to the point where now if we don't have this thing, we're not attractive? We had a guest on the podcast a couple seasons ago, and I still follow her social media. And she told this story of how her grandmother she was getting released from the hospital, and she was like, bring me my blush and my mascara, like all my, I can't leave the hospital like this. An older woman, definitely in her 80s and up. And she said, so they made a detour to go get her makeup, and on the way toward the hospital, she passed away. And they lost that time with her because they were going to get her makeup.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And there's
a sacrifice.
So there is something to be said about not believing you are beautiful, worthy enough in the package that you come in. I have to have something extra. I have to have this thing. I have to wear this thing. I have to look this way. And I want to prevent that as much as I can for my daughters, but I also respect they're going to have their own journeys in this. But I'm always trying to impart a little bit of wisdom and say, hey, what does that mean if you don't have on your mascara? How does that change your beauty and who you are? It doesn't. But if you don't see it that way, this is going to be something you're untangling for the rest of your life.
This is that dichotomy that I feel like people need to hold, right? Like, I have this big tattoo on my chest, and it came from this meditation I did where I was basically revealing this deep subconscious thing in this meditation, and the message was become better. That was the first part of the message. And then I realized I felt really bad about that because I'm constantly hard on myself. And then when I flipped this paper over on the visualization, it said, you are enough. And I love this dichotomy because what I'm hearing you say is like, mascara's not bad, lipstick's not bad, blush isn't bad. All these things you want to do aren't bad to express yourself and have fun and enjoy being a human being. But if you feel like you're not enough and that's why you're doing it, That's where the problem is.
That's where the problem
Can
is.
you go out in the world and feel valued and beautiful and loved without any of these things, right? And can you practice that? So, I don't know what the solution is, but can they say 2 days a week I go out there and I just
Without it.
practice being like that, and the other days I go out there and people say, sometimes you wear makeup, some days you don't. Yeah, sometimes I express myself like that, some days I don't, right? I think it's really hard, especially when society is sending the opposite message of what we're sending at home.
Yeah.
We're trying to get into their psyches, but if everybody started talking about this, then that would be the new message in society.
That would be the new message. But I think it's about establishing neutrality.
Yeah.
And, it goes right back to all the work we do around body image and diet culture and all those things. It's like, yes, I look great when I put on makeup. Okay. But I also look great when I don't. And so I need to treat myself equally well on both days.
Yeah.
Because I am still worthy. And we have to start to prioritize what matters, and our energy can't be spent on trying to make ourselves externally beautiful. And I know we've got tons of analogies around this when we're not pouring into who we are as humans internally.
Yeah.
Because it's cute to come in a pretty package. I used to, this may be not the best advice, but I used to say this to my daughters when they were coming up. There's a whole conversation about telling little girls they're pretty and, all the time. So I always tell my daughters they're beautiful. I tell my son he's handsome. Just because I think that is a part of building their confidence. But I would say to my daughters, especially, I was like, you're so pretty, but what is pretty and stupid? And they would be like, pretty stupid. And the point was to make them understand that you're more than just a body and a face and beauty. You have a whole brain and a spirit and a soul, and there's other parts of you to tend to. Same thing. What is pretty and kind? Pretty and unkind. There's no need to be a mean person, a nasty person, an unhealed person, because those are the things that matter far more than what you look like.
Yeah.
It's cute to be cute. Like, you're cute and we love you. You're beautiful, but that's not the essence of who you are. So spend time cultivating who you actually are way more than you spend time cultivating what you look like on the outside.
Yeah. I say to my girls, you're beautiful outside and in. What do you like about yourself?
Love that.
Just give repetitions of the opposite of what society does, which is what do you hate about yourself? You should show up for that more, right?
That part.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap here in just a sec, but I do want to leave people with one more thing before we go, because it can be hard, especially for older, especially if we haven't done any of this work up to this time, to cultivate that intrinsic self-worth.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I told a lot of people at the We Shape Wellness Weekend that made a huge impact on them was, you're doing the best you can. And if we can really feel that, if we can drop into that moment and say, I'm doing the best I can to show up in whatever capacities are important to me. If we think about that, if somebody's doing their best, are you going to criticize them? No, you're going to accept them. You're going to find gratitude for what they offer, right? But what do we do to ourselves? We're like, I could do more. No, you can't, because you're not.
Because you're not.
Right?
Yeah.
And so stop trying to push yourself and be someone else and do more and create all these self-imposed, obligations and rules and beliefs that don't serve you. And maybe for just 1 second, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm doing my best.
I'm doing my best.
And believe it and know it to be true, and give yourself that same kindness and gratitude for that reality, that you are doing your best and you are worthy, whether you know it or not.
Absolutely worthy.